match is live. Hurrik stick to it.
Alright, jumping into King's Row here. We've got Shrugger looking like he's going to attack on Widow, but it looks like maybe he's going to make a swap now. They're going to go for a tank strat, and Shrugger will be instead on the Junkrat, but going with the tank strat, and we've seen already how Fusion University likes to kind of contain these types of attacks. What do you expect from this matchup, given the compositions we're seeing displayed now?
I would expect Elk to keep up his stellar performance on Ana, landing those Bionades and versus the likes of that squad tanks. There it is again. Elk has been definitely on point the whole tournament with those, but we will see at the very least LCG still retaliating as they find the kills they need, and they might just get the point already.
So despite an excellent Bionade, you know, they will fall here, it looks like. Still, though, they haven't achieved the tick, and as time goes on, we might see Fusion University try to re-engage. I'm not sure if that's what they want to do, and in fact, that is not going to be the play, as instead, they're going to opt for allowing their team to get those close respawns, rather, and Elk is going to be coming back into it on Ana, so they're just going to contest very early on. But the fact that LCG is starting this off in this way is definitely good news, because again, you know, as it stands right now, they're 0-3. They haven't won a map yet, and things were not looking good. But up against Fusion University, this is at least a good note for them, taking the first point like that.
Already definitely, as said, looking better, but it is going to be Ruby going down first. Beast Halo once again on top of that dive alongside Zachary, of course. And who are you? Rapidly approaching that blade, and considering Elk does have the native boost soon, it will most definitely see it be used on top of that Genji. However, overall throughout the tournament, we've seen plenty of that nano boost come on top for Beast Halo, considering he's been playing so aggressive far forward, and it will keep him safer in general. But on the other side, Chronododo will be making a swap to the Winston himself. Shrugger will be looking to get the Riptide as soon as possible. It's going to be Who Are You with the blade. And we'll see the Soundbreak come out, but the first kill is going to go in favor of Who Are You. In the end, as he gets a triple kill. Big time showing up for him and for his team, as it will be Fusion University holding out strong.
I mean, Who Are You has been incredibly flashy. Everybody's been incredibly flashy, really. But I want to highlight Beast Halo because the way that he plays this Winston, he's so sneaky. He gets himself into these positions where he's able to create a lot of space for Who Are You and Zachary, and especially their supports in the backline, and supported by Kraken Laken. I mean, every facet of this roster is playing exceptionally, but I've really liked the way that Fusion University has been utilizing Beast Halo so far in these matches.
Unfortunately, there the kill didn't come through with the use of that Riptire, but Ultima Web still finds Beast Halo in the end. And with that Coalescence being used, it will force out the Transcendence from the side of Alarm. They will look to still get a few kills on the board. Self-Destruct is going to find Ninja Nick in the end. So not exactly what LCG was looking for, but they're still retaliating, still looking to push the opposition away. And look at this, Alarm all the way in the backhand side. Chronododo will manage to find Who Are You in the end. That Alarm, again, as said, considering he's out of position, will get punished in the end. And finally, LCG might get some distance on this payload.
Well, they got really aggressive with Beast Halo having that nano boost. They find a kill early with Zachary going forward, and Kraken Laken looks like he might lose his mech here, but with the defense matrix, he makes it out alive with 11 HP, but not going to be the case for long as Ultima Web chases it down. He does demech the Diva, but still, Fusion University have been fighting this one throughout this entire street phase. They really just haven't let off the gas yet.
And we will have that blade at the ready. And as said, Alarm picking the first kill. The blade will look for those targets, finds Ruby. And without that main healer from the side of LCG, will be looking pretty dire, as Mystic at the very least will find a return kill onto Who Are You, who did dove quite deeply for that kill. And now that Chronododo was forced to disengage, forced to pop that Primal Rage to stay alive, we'll see them regroup. And at the very least, considering the fact that they do have both support ultimates available here for LCG, they might just make things happen. But Pulse Bomb is going to find the kill onto Chronododo. Coalescence coming a bit too late. Beast Halo, again, the target of that nano boost, going to be able to do what he does best, which is just go ahead in that back line alongside the rest of his team, cleaning up on that objective.
Well, here's what's so important. Transcendence was held by Alarm, but on the other side, LCG wound up pulling out 2 different ultimates that are really pivotal in some of these engagements, especially with the lineup that they have. It was both of their support ults, so they're without those for probably what will amount to be their last fight if they can't get it without them. Now as they look to engage again, remember, Alarm holding onto that Transcendence will be very important against the aggression of Shrugger, especially when the Blade comes online.
Might have it soon enough, but need to target that Discord Kraken Lakin did look for that kill. However, it will be Who Are You getting Ninja Nick in the end, make it a 6v5. And the Blade might follow it up from the side of Shrugger, but is it a little too late as no kills are coming through? Who Are You and Zachary, the ones to score those kills? And it will be once more a good hold from the side of Fusion University. And the important thing is, Alarm wasn't even forced to use the Transcendence with the Blade coming out from Shrugger.
And Alarm, I mean, like you said, the fact that he's holding this, they just have the ability to use it whenever they want to. And Beast Halo, I mean, we've seen him die first in some of these fights, but think about all the time that he's given to Fusion University as he goes off on these little, you know, charges by himself and finds ways to get kills, finds ways to come back into fights. There's the Transcendence coming out, and Who Are You following up with the Blade? He's nano boosted as well, so they're still finding the kills even without their tank in the fray. Beast Halo does come back. He's going to be able to help out the backline, supporting against Ultima Web, who's now going to be forced out. 25 seconds remain here.
But it was all about Zachary in that team fight as he managed to get both supports out of the fight quite rapidly. And now, as he said, it's going to have to be back off of Ruby's Transcendence to really make things work, make sure Shrugger potentially builds up that Blade. But Zachary's lying in wait. Sneaky Tracer doesn't get spotted. However, finally, Ruby's going to be able to contest, but the Sticky is going to force the Transcendence. Not quite what they were looking for here for LCG, but it's not over just yet, as Sleep Dart would actually connect from the side of Elk, making things a little bit more difficult. Self-destruct was used, but Ultima gets a kill. Shrugger now with the Blade. He's going to find 1 kill, but Who Are You answers with one of his own onto Ruby, and it's an all-brawl on this payload as overtime assets did kick in. Kraken takes a kill onto Shrugger, and Problem Reach finally does come out of Chronodota, looking to displace the opposition and buy enough time, but Elk again with another Sleep Dart. It's just gonna send him napping, and Who Are You, in the meantime, alongside the rest of his team, will look to clean things up.
Yeah, it's now just about keeping Mystic off the point. They do it. So now held to 1 point. I mean, LCG was good to be able to get that first objective the way that they did, especially denying Elk the opportunity to really get a lot done with the Biotic Grenade. They were still able to prove that they have some lethality left in them. And now they have to try to make a hold. It's going to be a tough one, but it still is certainly possible. But to be the team that takes a map away from Fusion University after, I mean, they are denied their playoff spot at this point, if I'm not mistaken, no matter what happens here. But to be able to take a map like that, to be able to maybe even take the series, I mean, that would be such a statement coming out of the group stage where, you know, you didn't start off all that great, but, you know, as you come back into it, having Ninja Nick, having your full roster, now we're finally seeing LCG in full effect. And I mean, it does look better, but still, it's against Fusion University. It's just unfortunate timing that it took them all 4 of their games to finally get everybody on and ready to play and everything like that. Just an unfortunate timing, I guess, for everything to have happened the way it did.
But as you said, making a statement here alongside, or rather against, the likes of Fusion University would be big for this team, as so far not really having the best of luck. Will look to get a good defensive hold themselves, with Shrugger once again on the Junkrat. So I did like what he managed to do in their offensive push when it comes to dishing out that damage, and really alongside the rest of his team, making that sort of death volley composition approach work for the most part.
I do like the fact that we've seen consistency out of Fusion University and going into, you know, what will be contenders, and we haven't seen yet all of the rosters announced so far, but, you know, seeing that they have the dive and how it's executed so well between Who Are You and Zachary, Beast Halo getting into the mix, Kraken Lakin, of course, as well. I like to see that, but now as they go forward, they've already taken a pick here, and look at Beast Halo again, creating that space for the rest of his team.
An alarm once more being deferred. Damage dealer for his team, getting those right-click kills is always so important, as Mercy not being in play means that those kills mean that much more. But they will see them at the very least contest. 2 ticks achieve. Shrugger gets the best out of Alarm. Can they still retaliate? Mystic on the point. Coalescence was used by Ruby, looking to stabilize Fangs, and they do manage in the end to get something done on the point.
Battling back, 2 ticks allowed, but still maintaining their composure and making that re-entry into the point. Very important now, as they're looking to try to keep Shrugger alive. And remember, Shrugger and Ultima Web, I mean, Ultima Web typically would be their Tracer, but as he's playing Roadhog right now, they have that swap, and Zachary again with that opening pick.
And now that the Blade's gonna come out for Who Are You, they're gonna get that second support down, gets a double kill now onto Ultima Web, and as a result, point already acquired. We'll see whether or not 5 minutes and 5 seconds is enough for the likes of Fusion University to close out King's Row.
So going forward, Fusion University, I mean, 5 minutes to work with. We've already seen excellent use of ultimates so far from Fusion University. Their economy has looked far superior to the way that we've seen LCG be able to use what they've got. But now it's all on the line. LCG really need to win this map, need to win this series. And Who Are You getting very aggressive? This is an opportunity now for Mystic to come through, but Who Are You just dashes back.
Oh, Alarm once again getting an entry kill there to Chrono Dota. Will pop the Transcendence to follow it up and making sure that they do get the team fight win, as Mystic is going to go down. Kraken Lacken picking up a kill onto Shrugger, and it is indeed going to be once again Fusion University winning out. And the big thing is they still have that Blade good to go, and Pulse Bomb ready for Zachary as well. Elk should be looking to get the Sound Barrier on top, with that payload being so close to that objective. It's going to be potentially one last desperate attempt coming out of LCG.
And as they come back into the fight, they have to worry about the Blade. Elk will also have Sound Barrier, but they at least have a pick onto Beast Halo. But we know Fusion University is capable of winning fights without him. The Sound Barrier comes out, it's onto everybody. But now Who Are You gets stunned, and the Pulse Bomb lands onto the Genji as well.
And with that, we might still see LCG fighting back, looking to potentially stall things out once more, as Ultima picks another kill, this time onto Alarm. Was really the key person to enable his team to potentially get the defense rolling, as he finds Beast Halo again. That did come from that respawn, and now Zachary forced to disengage. It will be, in the end, LCG cleaning things up, as we'll have a staggered late kill onto Kraken Lacking too. But on the other side, Who Are You still has the Blade, and Alarm had enough time to get that Transcendence back online.
Zachary opportunity as well with the Pulse Bomb at the ready, and not a lot of answers defensively for LCG if anything comes out, so it'll be tough to see how they handle Who Are You with the Blade, as he gets very aggressive, jumps in, not going to be able to find a hook, at least instantly, and they're now looking for the supports. They have been cleaned up. These tanks will fall in a matter of time now.
As Who Are You picks up a triple kill, looking for the quadrupled Migtat, a pentuple kill onto Shrugger. It will be, in the end, Fusion University picking up the first win of the series.
And moving into the second one, I mean, first of all, I think this is probably the best display from LCG that we've seen so far. Again, teams are struggling to deal with Who Are You, especially on the Genji. It's really the only look we've seen from Fusion University. It's the only look we've really needed to see from them as well, because they've just been able to dismantle teams time and time again with a dive. And we'll have to see if that's going to be the case as well for map number 2. Don't go anywhere, guys. It's coming your way on the other side of these commercials.
We are back at the analysis desk. LCG definitely looking better in this one. They secure the point, but in the end, they fall to Fusion University in map number 1, like many before, so nothing
Yeah, they're
surprising.
definitely not the first ones. And of course, Fusion University once again playing to expectations. Alarm. What I really love about Alarm and Who Are You in terms of that duo, overall in terms of how the team plays, is whenever Who Are You does go in and dives in deep, Alarm is instantly on his tail with a Transcendence, able to secure those team fight wins. But on the other side, at the very least, for the likes of LCG, this is the best we've seen out of them, and it's unfortunate that we see this lineup come through right at the end. But looking forward, maybe in other future tournaments and endeavors, if this team sticks together, we'll see much better results.
Also, Who Are You got a lot of juicy Dragon Blade kills this match. It was cool to see the least. Now,
Classic, Who Are You?
Coming up next is Hanamura, perhaps the last map we will see LCG in. Do you think they can somehow, some way take it to third map?
It will come down to whether or not they can somehow surprise the opposition, and when it comes to their offensive round, snowball into a second point take off of that first objective. But the interesting thing to notice, I do believe this will be the first time we will see Zerg come and play for Fusion University, so it's going to be interesting to note. And Hanamura has been one of those maps that we do see Widowmaker on sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, if the stories are correct, he's insane and he will probably play good on this map, but it's definitely great to see him play. He will take the place of Zachary in this match, so Who Are You will still stay. So, I mean, it should still be a very strong DPS lineup.
Oh, most surely. But again, I did like the fact that LCG finally looked way better with their performance. Shrugger on that Junkrat looked really good. Ultima Whip with the Roadhog made things really favorable for his team when it looked really dire. And this is what I want to see out of LCG. And again, it's just really sad that it's so late.
Now, also looking at the assault maps in the North American region, we haven't seen a lot of Mei at all compared to Europe. In Europe, we've seen some teams several times utilizing that hero.
Well, the big difference is the fact that the North American scene favors the more aggressive style, the dive, the counter dive, whereas the European side, with the latest changes, went for quad tanks, triple tanks, and the most common composition of triple tank Junkrat hasn't been played as much in this season of the North American side of the Overwatch pit. But now that we've seen tonight a lot more of that quad tank, maybe eventually as we move into the playoff stages, Mei will come out to play.
Now, since the group is basically already completed, we already know the 4 teams that will go forward. Are you surprised by any of the results? I mean, personally, I'm surprised how Kungarna played. They didn't do that well in the Beat Invitational, and now they performed on some level, even though they did show a disappointing game today against Fractal Esports.
And overall, it did look really good for Fractal, as well as their first showing was disappointing, but picking up big time afterwards. And I do believe, unfortunately for LCG, one player is having a few issues right now. Hopefully will be sorted out soon enough. But of course, Fusion University, if they pick up this win as well, this is not too unexpected. We really saw them as the heavy favorites to win it all, potentially, and they said it themselves. It's first place or nothing. That is what they come here to take.
I mean, if you compare Overwatch Pit now to the Beat Invitational, Fusion University also haven't lost a single map until the Grand Finals, and in the Grand Finals they lost 3 maps to Envision Esports, which we will be seeing in Group 2. I mean, if Envision Esports can actually take 3 maps of Fusion University, they must be really good.
And the playoffs overall should be really interesting, because now that you have Fractal Esports in the mix, who hopefully, if they will face off against Fusion University again, will be looking to have a better showing. Kungarna, if they recreate those few first performances they had, will also be a contender for those top 3 spots, and it's going to be overall very interesting.
Now, also looking at the A group, we haven't give a lot of credit to No Cloud. I mean, they lost majority of their matches, but I still think they didn't show bad games, to say the least.
Overall, as you said, they had their bright spots just overshadowed by the competition overall, which the one big thing that I was looking out for was whether or not No Cloud will pick up a win versus Kongarna, because in the Beat Invitational, like you said, they managed to place third place, whereas here, Kongarna had the better of that matchup.
Yeah, definitely. Coming into the group stages, they were looking as one of the favorites, considering their previous placement in the Beat Invitational. But yeah, I mean, they can still play good, especially Sugar Free. He had a lot of great moments on the Assault maps, and it was, so to say, a pleasure to see.
And when it comes to this Fusion University lineup, they started out pretty much flawless. Now that we've seen them throughout the group stage, we did note a few flaws. So maybe teams having more opportunities to fight against this squad will potentially even look to stifle them and stop them dead in their tracks when it comes to the playoff stages eventually.
The match is ready. Take it away.
So looking at this matchup, Zerg in play, the 15-year-old all-star. We saw him, on stream a lot, but we haven't really seen him in a broadcasted tournament, really. And now here's one of the first looks that we're going to get. And at the moment, defensively, he's on a Mei. Obviously, we know that he's pretty solid on a Widowmaker, and we know he's got capabilities with some other heroes. But now as they're going to make their final swap-ups, as Zerg jumps off the map with Beast Halo there as well. We'll have to wait and see what Zerg's going to bring out, and it's going to be the Widow.
So it's going to be one to look out for sure, as we'll see Elk once again on that Hannah. And funny enough, actually Mei would have been too bad here, because Quad Tank is the name of the game for LCG, and we've seen how effective Craggy has been in terms of using those walls to really section off those tank members from the rest of their team. But once again, Baone will look to hit a bunch of targets, will not be too successful, but overall in the end it's still going to be Beast Halo claiming that first kill. Schrager answering with one onto that Winston, but overall it's still going to be Fusion University winning out.
And Zerg with a nice angle of attack here. They can't really even approach him because they're running that tank strat, so he's just going to be able to take free shots from across the map and just adjust his position between the many different angles that he could choose from. I mean, there's several different high grounds to go for, and even going back over to the arches over by the spawn, I mean, he could even play off of that and then shoot down at the point as well. Just kind of has to be making sure he's watching for the respawns, but that's something to look out for as Zerg on the Widowmaker.
And now that he does have the infra side, will spot out the opposition in their next approach, as they will look to potentially go onto that high ground. However, who are you? Having that blade at the ready will most likely wait on Elk in terms of that nano boost, considering they're so grouped up that slashing damage is gonna just do so much, as Elk actually finds Ruby in that engage, making it a 6v5. The dash is gonna come through the blade as well, but is he gonna find the kill? Self-destruct will be forced out, and he will manage to get Ninja Dick in the end. No support on the side of LCG, as they will look to see Fusion University clean up, but they do have two members get killed in return.
And you saw Zerg go over to that high ground over arches there again, and Elk back on the Ana. I think this is a good play for them, especially going up against a tank composition. We've seen before how well this works, especially with the biotic grenades that Elk tends to throw out. But they have both of their support ults. They have Infrasight coming up from Zerg, and Alarm is almost back from the respawn. But as we look at this next fight, a pause coming out, as Ultimate Wep asked for that one, but they have a lot of options going up into this next fight. They're going to have Sound Barrier pretty soon. The only thing they really won't have is the Graviton, which is potentially one of their best ultimates to have, but after this DC, oh no. I mean, not having the Sound Barrier there to back up the push, that might... that's a bad sign right there to lose that out. He was at about 90%, I think, on his ultimate charge.
It's unfortunate here for LCG, as things really haven't been going their way, and at the very least it's nice to see Fusion University bring out Zerg finally, let him have some play time, as the one possible good thing now left for LCG is Chrono Dota landing a big Earth Shatter, considering Beast Halo is pretty much the only one who can have a say in that matter with the bubble. Chrono Dota, if he finds an angle, could see once again Alarm be shut down before he can use that Transcendence, which really was the only thing Fractal Esports found in terms of winning a team fight on Hollywood versus the likes of Fusion University. So, of course, it's not over just yet. 1 minute, 51 seconds is left on their push, and once we will see, hopefully, Ninja Nick coming back on, it will be, in my opinion, up to these main tank, this main tank of LCG to pull through.
So it looks like they have him back. Shrugger did just call ready, but I don't actually see Ninja Nick in the lobby yet. And it might be a case where, yeah, he might have to
reconnect.
Hold on.
Just
yeah.
I'm
just typing it over to him just to make sure.
And of course, we've seen once again, who are you getting those blades up ready to go soon enough. And this has been one of the big things on Hanamura in particular for Fusion University, when all these different teams bring out these tanky lineups, him just being able to dash through, charge up that blade pretty much every fight. Instead, it's going to be a bane once again for LCG, but we did see Ninja Nick for a split second there. Now gone once again. Hopefully we'll have things sorted out.
He had the invite thing, the invite bug, but as he came back in, unfortunate timing. But now he's coming back in, and it seems as though we're ready, so we should be able to resume the match here, as LCG has had struggles with their gameplay so far, but I think more of the struggle has really just been making sure the players could even play. I mean, we've seen substitutions and stand-ins throughout, and now finally we get to start. Ninja Nick coming back, but remember, 0% ult charge.
Unfortunate for him, but once again, during that time left, we might just see 2 to 3 team fights. Still good to go for LCG, depending on how they want to approach this next fight. And so far, will be the Nano Boost on top of Who Are You, who's quite far away from that blade, but Air Shot is going to come through. And it seems like it's not really going to find those targets, as Elk and Kraken Lacken in the meantime get 2 kills of their own. Zerg finds another. It will be indeed the reset here for LCG, and interestingly to see Elk actually go for the Nano Boost on Who Are You, but what that really enabled him was to charge up that blade.
So remember, only a minute left to play. And as they go to the dive, Ninja Nick is just going to be completely without an ult in this first phase of the map. I mean, he will not be able to pop anything unless this next push lasts a long time. But as they dive in, we do see Who Are You pulling the blade out, diving right onto Ruby, finding a kill almost instantly.
We'll see one return kill, make that 2 from Ultima Web, maybe turn things around as both supports are down for Fusion University, but they're still gonna fight it all out on the point. Zerg does manage to find Shrugger in the meantime. Self-destruct used by both sides. The remake, the resuit is not gonna be available for Mystic, as Ninja Nick coming back in will claim a kill onto Kraken Lacken, but Who Are You still looking for those kills? Zerg dancing around that bell, around that point will find Ultima Web, but Ruby still snipes him coming back in, and unfortunate, but minor victory for Zerg there, still.
And now Shrugger staying alive in the corner. They need to make sure they keep overtime up. Alarm does
So
have
bullied.
Transcendence. I mean, this is pretty much all hope lost for LCG at the moment. They're trying to hang on, trying to get Ultima Web back in there. He's been known to make some plays before, but doesn't seem like this time it's going to work out for them. He's going to die off. Overtime will tick, and they come away with nothing.
This means Fusion University, once again, all they need is 1 tick on that assault map. And things, of course, not looking too hot for LCG, but as you said, their biggest struggle has been just making sure all the team members are good to go, and it's just unfortunate.
And now as we swap sides, Zerg has already made some good looks on Widowmaker. And it's unfortunate because I really would have liked to see a little bit more Junkertown for them being pulled in the group stage, and obviously as they have solidified their way into the playoffs, there's still more opportunities. But Junkertown is a map specifically that I thought we would see Zerg on more often. I'm actually surprised that he's even playing on Hanamura, but given that it's their last map potentially that they'll play, and it's even looking more so now in the group stage, they wanted to make sure probably that Zerg got some play time, and this is still a map that Zerg can get away with on the Widowmaker. It's still something that he can pull out and be effective on. Obviously, showcasing just that on defense, but now as they go over to attack, they'll look to try to get him up on top of arches again, so he can have that same sightline that he used on defense. And we saw the tank play come out, aggression coming from LCG, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to see from them all out, as Alarm right now is on a Bastion. I don't think he's going to stick with this. I imagine he'll probably go over to his Zenyatta here. And they're still going with triple tank, so not a huge amount of healing for Beast, Halo, and Kraken Lacken. And he's going to answer me right there. Maybe he was listening. Alarm switching over to the Moira.
Definitely should be looking better for Fusion University, but the side of LCG will have to hold on for 3 minutes and 55 seconds for that 33% to not really happen for the likes of Fusion University, as they'll look to dive right in. Don't quite find the targets they were looking for so far though, but Zerg in the meantime is allowed that line of sight as he gets a double kill to start things up, making it a triple kill. Zerg already big time on that. But, oh man, why haven't we seen him on Junkertown is the big question for me right now. See, we'll clean up. Fusion University will get the win. And LCG are out, but again, hopefully we'll see them at the very least have the... Yeah.
We already know what this is. Go ahead and get your clip buttons ready, because Zerg has been lights out. We didn't get to see the ultimate kill there, but last one onto Ruby to secure it.